In regards to Zach Wilson, I mean, that's the talk, right? The Jets are probably going to take him at number 2. What is it that you like about Zach Wilson, things that you don't like? His pocket presence is great. You see him off the ball as well when you see his back foot throw during his pro day. And they're saying the Mormon version of Patrick Mahomes, which is it's an upper scale. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on Zach Wilson as a whole as a prospect?
The positives have been talked about a ton. He's got crazy arm talent, guy that can put it anywhere he wants. He's got that arm talent that teams covet now. You talk about the cliche, make all the throws. That's what teams want. Teams want Mahomes. Teams want Josh Allen. Teams want Jordan Love. Teams want Aaron Rodgers. These guys that can make all the throws. That's what people want. And I think that's what Zach Wilson brings to the table. Now, what doesn't get brought up enough is the concerns you have with previous year's film. Yes, he was battling injuries, but still did not see the level of Zach Wilson that we saw this past year. His offensive line was one of the highest graded in the country. Brady Christensen, the highest graded offensive tackle in all of college football this past year. He had all day to throw. Among all 5 of the top quarterbacks in this class, he had the lowest percentage of dropbacks where he was pressured. It's a lot easier to throw the football when you're not pressured. That's according to PFF grades. That's also according to common sense. So I do think that Zach Wilson, there's a lot of reasons to just temper expectations. It's not necessarily that there's a lot of concerns with him as a prospect. It's not necessarily that he's not worth a top 3 pick in this draft, but let's temper some expectations here. It shouldn't be minus 10,000 that Zach Wilson goes to New York Jets at 2. I think Justin Fields should be in the conversation for the number 2 overall pick. Obviously, we know the San Francisco 49ers making the trade the same day as Zach Wilson's pro day in Provo, Utah. There was obviously a tip that the Jets were locking into just Zach Wilson. And for the same reasons we're talking ourselves into Mac Jones, we're talking about why the Jets are infatuated with Zach Wilson. You also have analysts like Chris Sims putting Zach Wilson ahead of Trevor Lawrence. People will see Zach Wilson as one of the better quarterback prospects in this class, but that shouldn't keep us from tempering expectations. Don't put the Hall of Fame gold jacket on him just yet. I do think you need to see him do it against good competition. Do it for more than just 1 year at BYU, a COVID-impacted season. Then the other game that doesn't get brought up enough is the Coastal Carolina game. Still graded, I think, in the 80.0 range, but did not show up to win that game. They were 10.5-point favorites. Lost outright against Coastal Carolina. We need him to show up in big games. He hasn't played a big game yet. Of all the quarterbacks, again, in this class, he's played the lowest percentage of snaps trailing. That's, again, another concern. He's going to see some adversity in the NFL out of the gate.
Your thoughts to where you see the New England Patriots going at number 15. There are stories coming out that if Justin Fields falls to 8, they will move up. They will trade either Gilmore or Jackson and move all the way up from 15 to 8. What are your thoughts to that? And where do you see at certain positions in this draft, like Miami or even the Cowboys, what the Cowboys could do if Kyle Pitts falls to maybe 7 or 8? Maybe they move up and get Kyle Pitts because we know Jerry loves him. What are your thoughts to that?
Yeah, I do think if you look at betting markets right now, the favorite to be the first position drafted by the New England Patriots in 2021 is quarterback at plus 200. I don't think they're necessarily going to wait till 8, though. I think they would wait till probably 7 with the Detroit Lions, see that as an opportunity to trade up and go grab Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields, if you look at betting markets, minus 150 to go inside the first 7.5 picks. I think that's because the Detroit Lions are a prime trade down spot. They are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Looking at win totals for next season, the only team with a lower win total is the Houston Texans. We don't really have to talk about how bad that franchise is in right now. So I do think that the Detroit Lions are a prime trade back spot. In New England, especially with Denver potentially now committing to a quarterback room that consists of Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, could be in a prime position to trade up from 15 to 7 and go grab Justin Fields, a Justin Fields that is falling for no apparent reason. Maybe just based off interest in Kyle Shanahan and what he prefers at the quarterback position. New England would be very smart to go up and get Justin Fields, whether they're trading up to 7 or trading up to 8. The reason I have reservations about 8 is it just doesn't make a ton of sense, even with trading the second-round pick for Sam Darnold, for the Carolina Panthers to pass on Justin Fields if he falls to 8. If the Carolina Panthers were a Sam Darnold away from not needing help at quarterback, what are we talking about? I mean, this has been one of the lowest-graded quarterbacks in the NFL for the past 3 seasons. Do we expect him to make a Ryan Tannehill-like leap away from Adam Gase? Potentially, but why not have another option there at quarterback? Why not bring in Justin Fields if he falls to you at 8 and then have them compete between the two and start the best one? It's kind of similar to what the Cleveland Browns, you go back to, a lot of people thought they were going to start Tyrod Taylor, and Hugh Jackson did. Ask the coach to start the best guy. He starts Tyrod Taylor. That guy's not coaching much longer. Baker Mayfield takes over. Start the best quarterback. Have the best quarterback room, and the Carolina Panthers could be in a good position to do so. I like the Patriots trading up. It's just spent $135 million in guaranteed money in one offseason, the second most we've ever seen from any team in a single offseason. What does that tell me? They need a cheap quarterback. You're not going to be able to have that much money on the books and not have a quarterback on a rookie contract. That's just what it is. So I do think they ultimately trade up. It could be at 7. It could be at 8 to go get a QB.